look at that grey day. Look at it. Awful. Anyway, I'm Lorien. I'm a tarot reader and general busybody in the way of the occult. I'm here to bring you your monthly tarot readings for your individual signs. Thank you so much for those who have actually subscribed. I wanted to give a personal note to you for that. And also, if you'd like any more general, sorry about that, bird flew past. If you'd like a personal reading, please get in touch with me. If you have any spiritual questions, I'm always on hand. Please don't hesitate to get in touch. And hopefully I'll have a video camera next week. So more readings to come. Okay, Scorpio, firstly I'd like to apologise if you do hear some machinery in the background. There's a lot of people on my road doing gardening today, so I apologise in advance if there's any outside noise. I'm using the Druidcraft Tarot deck today. More information on that in the comments just in case you're interested, but this is a very personal deck for me. I use it a lot in my own practice and it always gives me a unique insight and sets my intuition on fire, so expect this to be quite introspective and relating to inner workings when it comes to your own personal path. As ever, there are 4 cards, each representing a week of energy for June, and then we have the overall energy of the month at the bottom. So, last month in May, there were the senses of tying up loose ends and really making sure you knew where to go. All the projects that you'd started, maybe you were clearing away some of that and really making sure all your ducks were in a row, really. So the first week of June does seem to be focusing on the charge that the release of tying those loose ends brings to you. You should have a lot of created energy from the flashes of intuition that are now able to come through into this space that you've created. Your mind should be clearer and more upbeat about what the future has in store. You've settled a lot of stuff. Now is the time to push forwards. This is almost the characteristic of harnessing the new ideas that you have. Maybe because of something or someone who happened to you in the past week of May, because I feel for a lot of you there's like a flash of inspiration that comes through now and you're pushing forwards with the need to forge an idea and make it come true. There's almost a rebellion in some ways for this card, so you might be of the impression to sod the basics and the mundane and the focus on this fresh new energy that set your heart alight. It's almost like somebody's lit the beacon and you're answering the call. Your inner adventurer is coming out now, Scorpios, so you may even become a little bit like Bilbo Baggins and get swept away with the amount of creative forces around you, all the people that seem to be sharing in this fresh energy that comes through. So I'm hoping this is the case. I have a book I'd like to continue editing, but in week 2 there comes a warning that if you spend too much energy you might find yourself using your reserves. If that is the case, it's time to slow down. There is a time to embrace rebellion as you did in the first week, but there's also a time to stop and stand back too. There is a time to retreat, regroup, let your mind calm down. You can share, this time with other people, but I feel it may be just a little bit of time where you go more introverted or, get lost in your mind a little bit. You will have experienced such a buzz from going forwards in a rush that you're at risk of burning the candle at both ends. So it is good to just let this be for a minute and just take a breath, feel the fruits of your ideas and things like that. Take your time over them. And if you want to distance yourself from those pressures or from the things that you've been doing, you can do that. I think as well, going into, looking towards the end of the month, it is quite prominent that you do this because you need to make sure that your reserves are not, there's a kind of like a pot of energy. Once you use the pot of energy, or once it gets very low, the reserves will come into play. And I think you will need to just make sure you don't dip into that as often as you could do. I think the reason you need this week off to gather your thoughts and wind down is because of the successful element of the third week. The Lord would typically represent the Emperor in other decks because, it's the male counterpart of the Lady and the Empress, but here he's a little bit more spiritually defined. It's about the earthy realm of success and accomplishment and determination, grit and masculine energy you may need to prove a point. He's about getting the structure needed and having the boundaries set between those who might seek to lure you away from things. So again, liken it to writing a book. Well, that's at least how I know. There's a lot of time alone, working away, resisting offers of having fun and being distracted. By no means lose your friends. You can go out, but make sure that you're sticking to this determination and drive now. Whatever you've started, you do need to finish it. It may seem a bit mundane at times, and you might be on the border of getting a bit obsessive with it. That's sometimes, similar for me too, but almost a similar theme to May. This is a creative energy that you have, and it is going to be continuing for quite some time. The Hanged Man in the last week actually represents the patience you're going to have with yourself about this. It's really buckling down, and it can take its toll if you do something so much. Even if it started with passion, you can soon resent it. You may feel like you're boxing yourself in, so now just give in to a feeling of bracing your unconscious and otherworldly feelings. By that, I mean your intuition may have to step in now and guide you through where your conscious mind is getting frustrated by things standing still. Time creates perspective, and although you might be wondering why on earth you started this damn thing in the first place, it's all becoming too real, it's all becoming like a job. That's just the everyday ego talking. Don't let it get to you. Ask your guides or angels, whoever you work with, to help you, and you'll soon see the effort that this is worth it. It is leading into summer, this, and the creative energy of summer will be coming round. I feel for the Southern Hemisphere people, this is mostly going to be a case of the darker night's coming, and you don't want to spend all your time holed up writing or holed up working on this thing or focusing all your time on something when the days are passing you by with the little sunlight that you may have. So just about trying to balance that out again. There seems to be a sort of almost a theme for Scorpios in the last 2 months, all about balancing and making sure that anything that you begin is a result of previous efforts having been left. So you can't split your time between two things. Make sure that there's only one thing you're focused on. Let your intuition step in and guide you where you need to go. Because if you give in to that and if you allow it to encompass you, you will be able to get where you need to go, and a lot faster than you may have thought. It is quite frustrating, especially if you're in the summer area, that it's a sunny day outside and you sat indoors doing everything else, working on this thing that you started as a hobby or something like that. It's that kind of feeling of an entrapment almost. The Eight of Cups as the overall card, particularly in this deck, is about striving upwards, getting there. But in order to do that, much like the second or third week, it is to release some of the things that no longer serve you. So every single week throughout June, you will be able to progress, even if it does seem like you're making the original leaps and bounds you did first of all. But it is still progress. And if you allow yourself to close the door on a few friendships or chapters or energies which threaten that progress, you will be okay. Not everybody will understand the passion or the effort that you're putting into this, and you don't have to feel the pressures or expectations of those around you. Because Scorpio, you are unique, and you should follow your gut instincts wherever it carries you. Be sure to take a break when you need it. Be sure that you're getting more meaning out of something than just money. Be sure that you're getting experiences, as well as joy and happiness from your goals. Be sure that you're respecting yourself, as well as getting respect from others. All in all, this is a month to let go from things in your past and forge forwards without questioning your judgment. Just question when you need to sit back and rest. Do I think I need to take a night off from this? Okay, I'll become me again. I'll become more in tune with what I am and what I'm doing rather than the goal. So it's all about living in the present as well as living in the future. And I'm really looking forward to reading July and seeing the fruits of your labour coming through here. As always, if you'd like a personal reading with me, don't hesitate to get in touch on the links below. But for now, fellow Scorpios, take care, and I'll be reading for you in July.